Bonjour and welcome to episode 4 of Joy in Paris. We started off with breakfast, and today the Descopolitan staff laid out a nice tarte tartan for us with a note explaining its history. We hopped on the metro to meet Sophie at Auteuil, which is in the 16th arrondissement, and she let us try a little bit of the jambon de Paris, which is one of the only hams still made in Paris, and it was delicious. Then we walked around the neighborhood a little bit, and at first glance, Auteuil seems super unassuming, but it's actually where the mega rich people live in secret gated communities. We paid a visit to the maison La Roche, designed by Le Corbusier, who is an architect who is very famous for his geometric and minimalist architectural style. Because of all the right angles and the geometric shapes, this house is really interesting. It changes as you walk through it because your perspective changes. We then walked through the neighborhood and saw some other very architecturally interesting houses before it was time to slowly meander to lunch. For lunch, we went to La Rotonde de la Muette. The interior is beautiful, and apparently this restaurant is pretty famous. We got so much food to share, and it was absolutely delicious. This dessert was a specialty called the Floating Island, and we also tried the hazelnut ice cream with nuts and chocolate and meringue. The after-lunch coffee came with a madeleine, which is apparently also a specialty, and it was the fluffiest madeleine I've had in my life. And then we were off to Monceau to see the park. Here's the beautiful gate. Like the Parc des Buttes-Chaumont, there were many natural seeming structures that were actually man-made. But unlike the Parc des Buttes-Chaumont, there were many invitations to explore different parts of the world. For example, we have these ruins. There were also seemingly Chinese and Egyptian sculptures. Apparently, even the colors of the trees are orchestrated for the best aesthetic possible. We headed to the museum next to the park, which is the Museum Nissim de Camondo, a guy from a very rich banking family. The home was extremely opulent, filled with 18th century art and specially designed furniture. This house was designed in a unique L shape to maximize the number of windows looking down into the green space of the park below. And he also had an amazing porcelain collection where each piece was hand-painted with a different bird. After the museum, we paid a visit to legless Augustin, which had a really unique architectural style that was a mix of Roman and Byzantine. It was beautiful inside, but in my opinion, not very well conserved because there were many paintings that were definitely missing from the walls. We stopped by the boulangerie of Kaiser. I got a chocolate hazelnut tart and it was so yummy. Before going back to the hotel, I also got a sandwich and a financière, another pastry, and it was also so good. There are truly no bad pastries in France. And then we headed to the Philharmonic. The outside of the building was really cool. It had little metal pieces tessellated to look like flying birds. The program of this concert was all César Franck, where the first 4 pieces were all symphonic poems, 2 with piano solo, and the second half of the concert was César Franck's only symphony. For me, the concert hall was acoustically very dry. However, it was still a really enjoyable program, and I'm really glad that we got to go. And then it was late, so we headed back, and that's all for today. Bonne nuit et à demain.